Greetings, YouTubers, and welcome to my 18th TTM video. Today, I will show you 6 TTMs that I got in the mail today and share a little more information about the giveaway, as this will be the last video before the giveaway to put comments down. Just want to give everybody a little update what I saw on Sports Collectors Net. I saw that Tony Mandarich is now sending out messages that he's charging $1 a card, $5 for a photo, $10 for his SI cover, and he also puts his PayPal link on the paper he gives back. I saw 2 people put that down in their successes. I also saw that Jose Cruz Sr. is now charging, I think, $5 a card when he was 3. So have to see about those 2. And I saw Ray Wersching, the kicker for the 49ers, is returned to TTMs to people, refused on it. So don't know, maybe he's getting a lot and decided just to slow down. But those are the updates that I saw. I thought I'd pass them along. The first TTM I got today came from Florida. It took 10 days, and it's a good signature. I like it. Former NBA player Roy Hinson signed this Cleveland Cavaliers card for me. I've had that since I was a kid back in the 80s. Roy Hinson is 59 years old. He was born on May 2nd, 1961 in Trenton, New Jersey. He went to Rutgers University in New Jersey. He was Atlantic 10 Player of the Year back in 1983 and was twice first team All-Atlantic 10. In the 1983 NBA Draft, he was selected in the first round with the 20th pick by the Cleveland Cavaliers. The power forward played in the NBA from 1983 to 1991, starting out with Cleveland from 1983 to 1986. His best season was in 1985 and 1986 when he scored 19.6 points a game. After the season, Cleveland traded him to the Philadelphia 76ers for the number 1 pick in that year's draft, and Cleveland got a good one. They selected Brad Daugherty that year. Roy Hinson played with Philadelphia from 1986 to 88, and then played with the Nets from 1988 to 1991 when he retired from the NBA. He scored 7,206 points, about 14, little over 14 a game, 3,452 rebounds, 6.8 a game, and he had 882 blocks, about 1.7 a game. Again, this was free. It took 10 days to his home in Cleveland. He was nice enough to sign it, put his number down there with the Cavs, going in for the dunk. Cleveland sent me that way back in the 80s. I remember that. Next one came from Michigan, and this took 12 days. I sent 2 cards, and I got a third little something back from Mr. Frank Tanana Daiquiri, as Chris Berman used to call him. He signed the 1976 and 77 tops there, putting down John 3:16, then did little John 4:6 on the 76 one, and even sent me his own little card there, little brochure, I guess you'd say, he signed. But very nice of him. He gets a lot of mail. Frank Darrell Tanana, 67 years old, born in 1953 in Detroit, Michigan, native of the Motor City. His father was a Detroit police officer, was about to attend Duke University on a basketball scholarship when the California Angels drafted him as their number 1 pick in the 1971 draft, so he gave up Duke to go to the major leagues. Played in the major leagues from 1973 to 93. Started out with the then California Angels, as they were known. September 9th, 1973, his debut against the Kansas City Royals. Played with the Angels from 1973 to 1979. All those good years. He and Nolan Ryan had a good duo there. They, combined. The old saying was that it was Tanana and Ryan and 2 days of crying. His rookie year, he went 14 and 19. Really picked it up at the end, not to lose 20, but he wasn't getting a lot of support. His ERA was 3.12. He had 12 complete games that year, 180 strikeouts, and he pitched 268 and 2/3 of an inning, which is a lot of innings. You don't see that anymore. On June 21st, 1975, he became the first left-hander to have 17 strikeouts in a game against the Texas Rangers. He led the American League in strikeouts in 1975 with 269 Ks. And from 1972 to 1979, he was the only person besides Nolan Ryan to lead the American League in strikeouts. He also played with the Boston Red Sox, the Texas Rangers, the Detroit Tigers, where he played from 85 to 92. And he played with the Mets and the Yankees, both in 1993. 3 times he was an All-Star. He led the American League in ERA in 1977, and in 1975 led them in strikeouts. He was a fireballer, early on. He threw in the mid to upper 90s with a fastball and had a devastating curve. But in 1977 and again in 1979, he had arm injuries, so he went from being a fireballer to, throwing a lot more junk, shall we say. His 240 wins are 58th all-time, and most by a pitcher who never won 20 games in a career. He also holds the American League record for most home runs allowed, 422 long balls. He won 240 games, lost 236 in his career, had a 3.66 ERA, struck out 2,773 batters. He's a member of the National Polish American Sports Hall of Fame and the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. Again, this was 12 days, no fee. Threw in an extra one, very nice of him. Mr. Frank Tanana. Thank you very much. The next one came from Massachusetts. This took 12 days. This gentleman, I believe, only signs one card, so that's all I sent him. And that's former knuckleballer, Mr. Wilbur Wood. Got him to sign the Chicago White Sox one there. Move that over a little bit so everybody can see it up closer. Don't be shy, Wilbur. Come up. Wilbur Forrester Wood Jr. is 78, born in October 1941 in Cambridge, Mass. He was signed by the Boston Red Sox in 1960 right out of Belmont High School in Massachusetts, and played with Boston from 1961 to 1964. Played in the major leagues from 1961 to 78, so he had a long career. Played with the Pittsburgh Pirates and then finished up with the Chicago White Sox from 1967 to 78. After he got to Chicago, Hoyt Wilhelm advised him to try to use the knuckleball as his exclusive pitch, and he did. And he lasted a lot longer. He was a relief pitcher. He was a starting pitcher. He was one of the last pitchers to consistently throw over 300 innings a season. You won't see that anymore with the way these pitch counts are. This won't happen. You probably add up a couple of years for guys to get that now. As a relief pitcher in 1968, he set a then Major League record, which has since been broken, of pitching in 88 games in one season. So, a lot of games. The old knuckleballer was a 3-time All-Star, 2 times led the American League in wins. On July 20th, 1973, this man started both ends of a doubleheader. He was the last pitcher to do that. He did lose both games. His knuckleball was a little wild. He once hit the first 3 batters of an inning with his knuckleball, and that's what Rick Wild Thing Vaughn, I think, is close to that. He won 164 games, had a 3.24 ERA, and struck out 1,411 men. Again, 12 days, no fee. He was nice enough to sign this 1976 Topps card, and he put my name on it over there, so thank him for that. No index card from Frank or Wilbur. And this next one came from Massachusetts as well. It took 9 days. And it's a great 8x10 photo of an NBA Hall of Famer by the name of Bob Cousy. Excuse me. Robert Joseph Cousy, Bob's 92 years old. Just turned 92 this past month. Born in Manhattan, New York City. Big Apple. He went to Andrew Jackson High School in Queens. Then went to Holy Cross in Massachusetts, playing from 1946 to 50. In 1947, he was on a team that won the NCAA championship. Back then, the NCAA's only consisted of 8 teams. Kind of hard to fill out your brackets. In the 1950, get that right, 1950 NBA draft, he was selected in the first round with the 3rd pick by the Tri-City Blackhawks, which essentially they played in 3 different cities, Moline and Rock Island, Illinois, and Davenport, Iowa. Now, Bob was not selected number 1 overall. That was the Boston Celtics who selected center Charlie Scher. Red Auerbach after that pick said, "Am I supposed to win or please the local yokels?" Because Cousy went to Holy Cross up in Massachusetts. Cousy was trying to establish a driving school in Worcester, Mass., and he didn't want to relocate out to the Midwest. Didn't want to go out there. So he said for giving up his driving school, he wanted $10,000 from the Blackhawks owner. Well, the owner offered $6,000. Bob Cousy said, "I'm not reporting to camp." And eventually the Chicago Stags got him, but he never played for them because they folded. And he and 2 other players were put in a dispersal draft by the commissioner. And the Celtics wound up getting Bob Cousy, although they didn't want him. They drew his name out, and they got him. But the rest is history. He played in Boston from 1950 to 63, and then played with the Cincinnati Royals from 1969 to 70 as a player-coach. He was signed on basically to boost ticket sales, and he was in his early 40s at that point. Tickets did go up. They sold 77% more tickets, but they didn't do very well. 6 times he was an NBA champ. He was the NBA MVP just once in 1957. 13 times was an All-Star. 2 times was the All-Star Game MVP. 8 times led the NBA in assists. Received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2019. Is a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame, the College Basketball Hall of Fame. He scored 16,960 points, which comes about 18.4 a game. Had 4,786 rebounds, about 5.2, and 6,995 assists, about 7.5. So Bob Cousy, 92 years young, 9 days. He didn't charge. I didn't send him any money. He just nicely inscribed my name on it and did a great job there. So I was glad to get that one. Don't want to pay those exorbitant fees I see on eBay. And also I got in the mail something to add to my Hall of Fame postcard collection. This came from Missouri. Took 9 days. I did include a $5 donation with it, and that's Hall of Fame manager Mr. Whitey Herzog. Get a little closer to Whitey there. Dorell Norman Elvert Whitey Herzog. Yes, that's a long name. 88 years old, born in New Athens, Illinois in November 1931. He officially signed with the New York Yankees and was a prospect there, but was eventually traded to the Washington Senators. During the Korean War, he briefly served in the Army Corps of Engineers, and he got his nickname Whitey because of his light blonde hair. A sports writer nicknamed him Whitey. Stuck with him ever since. He played with the Senators from 1956 to 58, then with the Kansas City Athletics, the Baltimore Orioles, before finishing up with the Detroit Tigers. His Major League career lasted from 1956 to 63. He hit .257 with 25 homers and 172 RBIs, but he's in the Hall of Fame because of his managerial skills. He started out as a scout for the Kansas City Athletics in 1964, then became a coach for them in 65, and in 1966, Wes Westrom asked him to become the third base coach for the New York Mets. But a year later, he became the Mets Director of Player Development, and the rest is history there because he helped build up that 1969 World Series team, getting a lot of those players, and also the National League Championship team of 1973. He had a big hand in that. Gil Hodges, the Mets manager, died right before the 1972 season, and Whitey thought he was going to be selected as manager, but he was passed over for Yogi Berra, and he wasn't too happy about that. So in 1973, he took a job with the Texas Rangers, his first managerial job. Didn't go too well, lost 100 games, and was fired after the season. Bob Short, the owner of the Rangers, not one of my favorite owners of all time, liked to move teams from different cities, including the Lakers out of Minneapolis and the Senators out of Washington. Replaced him with Billy Martin, who'd been fired by Detroit. And Bob Short was quoted as saying, "If my mother managed the Texas Rangers and Billy Martin was available, I'd have fired her." Well, Billy did take over in 74 and moved him into second place behind the eventual world champion Oakland Athletics. So he did a good job there. In 74, he took over the job as California Angels manager, essentially on an interim basis after Bobby Winkles was fired, and then was replaced by Dick Williams, who was the manager of the A's when they won 2 World Series before quitting. In 1975, he became the Royals manager and lasted until 1979, and then took over the Cardinals from 1980 to 1990. He was National League Manager of the Year in 1985, And World Series champ in 1982 when the Cardinals beat the Milwaukee Brewers. He won the American League West with the Kansas City Royals in 1976, 77, and 78. 3 straight years. They lost to the Yankees all 3. And won the National League East with the Cardinals 3 times, 1982, 85, and 87. He went to the World Series all 3 times, winning once and then losing to the Royals and then the Twins. 2 great World Series in those. He's a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame, the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame, the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. He had 1,281 wins and had a 53.2% winning percentage, so he did a pretty good job. Certainly should be in the Hall of Fame. And again, this was from Missouri, where he lives. Took 9 days, and I did include $5, but well worth it there to sign that card. And the last one came from New York, and it took exactly 3 days. I sent out a text message, or excuse me, an email. Sent out an email, and I got this baseball 3 days later, and it's from the commissioner, Robert Manfred. Bob Manfred there. Didn't want to stay. I'll give him one more shot here. I'll just hold it. I got this in the mail, free of charge. Robert D. Manfred's 58, born in September 1958. Excuse me, he's 61. I'll get my arithmetic right. He's born in 1958 in Rome. And if you'd have said Rome, New York, you'd have been right, because he was born there. I know a lot of people were thinking Rome, Georgia, but no. He was born in Rome, New York. Cornell grad and Harvard Law School grad. He's been commissioner since 2015. And all I did was send the email, and next thing I know, 3 days later, this came in the mail. So thank you, Commissioner Manfred, for that. Always nice to get something like that, or I didn't have to pay to have it sent back, too. Now, today is the last video before the contest. That'll be on Friday, the 200th giveaway, the bicentennial giveaway, as I like to call it. So you can leave a comment, and as long as you're a subscriber and live in the United States, you're entered. No problem. And we'll have the drawing on Friday and announce the winner. So if you're new to the channel and you like it, leave a comment and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, just leave a comment and you're in there. I want to thank you all. Thank everybody for watching and all your support, all the subscribers there. Everybody take care, be safe, and good night, Maryland.